Welcome to Inspire Her, the show where women gather to share truth, purpose, and power, all to help other women rise. You are watching Achievement Channel, the nation's first 100% motivational TV station, where every program is designed to inspire, uplift, and empower you to reach your full potential. We're coming to you from the School of Eloquence studio right here in Ikoyi, Lagos. I'm your host, Atinuke Odjenima. And today's episode is one that speaks to the heart of every woman on a journey. Whether you are just starting out, navigating change, or looking for renewed meaning in your career and calling. Our theme today is finding your why, discovering purpose and meaning in your career. Because truthfully, it's not just about having a job. It's about doing work that lights you up, aligns with your values, and leaves a mark on the world. And I'm joined by two incredible women who are not only living their why, but are helping others find theirs too. First, let me introduce our guest, Chisa Oladebo, a results-driven HR professional with over 16 years experience in human resource management. She's currently the Group Human Resources Manager at Lotsad Promo Media, a leading out-of-home advertising company. Chisa is passionate about unlocking the potential in people and organizations, and she is the visionary behind the Employability Awareness Program that empower young graduates to step confidently into the workforce. Welcome, Chisa.
Thank you, Atinuke.
And also with us today is Isioma Utomi, a top-tier leadership coach and productivity expert. She is the CEO of Catalyst Experience Solutions, a premier consulting firm that helps organizations drive performance through continuous improvement and innovation. Isioma works closely with visionary business leaders, helping them sharpen their focus. Welcome, Isioma.
Thank you so much, Atinuke.
Let's begin with something personal. Many of us don't arrive at our purpose all at once. It unfolds over time. Chisa, what did discovering your why look like? And was there a defining moment that shifted everything for you?
Thank you so much, Atinuke. So I'd say that I found my why from a place of pain. And it was when I was out of job for about 3 months plus. And I realized that my CV was not communicating my experience. So I met with a woman that I'd say she was God sent. So she had a one-on-one with me and made me understand that I needed to go back to do my CV. So that was an eye-opener. And I'm like, if I didn't get this guidance from this woman, I would not be able to do my CV and get a job, because I got a job like almost immediately. She put me through and coached me. So I told myself that I would not let the other generation, people coming behind me, to go through the issues I went through when I was looking for a job. So that brought about my passion to coaching younger people and ensuring that they get what they want with what they have. So I'd say that my why came from a place of pain. I was able to rediscover what God had put inside of me. Thank you.
I'm just being curious because really we need to meet some certain kind of people with some kind of knowledge, information to help us shaping. I mean, what was it that the woman said to you that helped you to discover that, yes, you know?
So she told me that it was a CV. She put up a vacancy and I thought I was qualified for the job.
Yeah.
I went for the interview and she told me that my CV did not do justice to what I had portrayed physically. And she told me that if I did not volunteer because she had a Facebook group for HR people, I was volunteering, so she picked interest in me and told me to come for the interview. I did not scale through, and I was happy that I did not scale through the interview, but guess what? I got what has made me who I am today.
From her?
From her, yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Thank you. Isioma, you coach leaders across industries. How common is it for people, even successful ones, to struggle with purpose?
That's a great question, Atinuke. A lot of people that I've met in my lifetime, both early in my career and later in my career and what I do right now, often have struggles around determining the purpose in life. And that's perfectly all right. What we discover, especially people who are at the leadership space, experience is that if they didn't discover it earlier in life, they now have tussles between, or this kind of disconnect between what it is they're doing now and what their purpose is. And a lot of it has to do with just reflection. A lot of people don't take the time to actually reflect and think about, why am I doing what I'm doing? How does it align with my personal values? And I think one of the simplest ways that a lot of people come into this particular moment is that they really start thinking about their life. They usually reach a point where they've determined that success is measured by some kind of achievement, by money or a title. And when they achieve that amount of money or achieve that title that they desired, they suddenly realize that they are actually not satisfied with that.
So I want to come in. I think that what brings people into jobs in the first place, that also elevates them to the level of leadership, is maybe the need to meet a need. So like to say, oh, I just want to get a job to have ends meet. So, and they're good at what they're doing, maybe skills, right? And then that's puts them up in leadership. But at the point when those things are met, then reality, the realization of I can be more, there is more, you know, the reality of questioning for there is a why am I even here, you know, comes across. Because I'm thinking, why would very successful ones, for that matter, still struggle to identify their purpose?
Yeah, no, if you think about it, so if you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the very base, you're talking about we need to survive, we need to eat food, we need to make a living.
Well said.
Exactly.
Said, yes.
And so later on, as you progress, as you've achieved those things, it's now becoming a sense of self-awareness sets in. And then you're looking for a higher purpose. Why am I taking this particular action? Which is the reason why you see many people who have had successful careers, typically later in their careers, they suddenly have charities, they have foundations, they have efforts, or they make a sudden career change. And a lot of it has to do with realizing that those basic needs have been met, and now we have to think about our higher purpose. And so that's why this shift often occurs mid-career or later in one's career.
So why is that clarity of finding why? Why is it so, finding why? Why is it elusive?
I think it's elusive a lot of times because we just don't take the time to reflect on it. And early in career, it can be quite understandable because we have a lot of basic needs that need to be met at that point in time. So a lot of us often push it aside very early in our careers.
I see.
Some people are very fortunate that they find it early and they have a lot of focus from the very beginning. But many of us are late bloomers, which is perfectly okay. And so I think that for many of us, the main thing is to really have particular moments of self-awareness. I have to be intentional about that. So whether it is, some people do it once a year, they take themselves on a personal retreat to think about, okay, what have I done with my work and my life? What direction do I want to go in going forward? And it has to be deliberate. So I tend to do it on a quarterly basis. Think about, okay, reflect on the past quarter. What did we achieve? Is it in alignment with my values? That values alignment is very important. What is important to you as an individual? How are the things that you are doing right now connect with those values? The more alignment you have between the two things, the more likely you are to find satisfaction. So success is very much in alignment with what it is that you are doing on a day-to-day basis.
I agree. Well done. Well done. Well said. Well said. A lot of women are watching, may feel stuck. They are in roles that pay the bills but don't ignite them. What would you say to women who feel trapped in a job that doesn't align with their deeper callings? Where should they begin?
Okay, so it's okay for them to dream again. It's very okay for them to dream again. Like Isioma said, when self-awareness come in, use of self-awareness can come in at the peak of your career, when you have to make a U-turn. I know that purpose is a performance multiplier. So if you discover your purpose, you'd see that things that you were struggling with become very easy. So you don't have to get stuck, right? Just rewrite your story. Do a SWOT analysis. What are things that you know naturally, if I don't get paid for it, I'll keep going. So you need to rediscover who you are. If you have to get people to do a review of yourself or get feedback from people to know, okay, what can I do away from my 9 to 5? What is that God-given talent God has given to me that would impact my next generation? So questions, you have to also ask yourself some questions, do some self-reflections to be able to come to that place of rediscovery.
I like what you said. She said, did you get that? When she said purpose is performance multiplier. Fantastic.
Yes,
well said.
I absolutely love that.
Yes.
I would also add that a lot of times we instantly feel that if we don't feel motivated in our jobs, that the first thing to do is quit. One thing I actually recommend for a lot of professionals is look at the role you currently have. Most likely there are aspects of it that you can learn from, that you can actually build upon for the kind of career that you want. So whether it is administrative skills, leadership skills, team skills, all those things that might help you in the career and the pathway that you want are already there in current function. So get value from it while you can. Maybe you'll be doing something on the side, maybe you're looking at other opportunities, but the job, the role you already have, pick out the things that will actually allow you to grow in the future and learn all you can in that moment. It will allow you to actually get more satisfaction in your current role because you will know about, the skills that you actually need to develop in the future, and at the same time give you more resources and skills to build upon for your next steps.
Well said. Well said, Isioma. And I'll go back to what you said again, just my own bit in trying to add to the conversation about women who are struggling, and where do they even begin to pick up. You said something very fundamental, and I think that all happens, and we're caught up in work, right? And that's when we take out time for personal reflection, for self-reflection, to say, what exactly do I want out of life? You see, when we use the word values, they are big English. But when we just break it down to say, okay, what exactly do you want out of life? And what are the things that would help you, to achieve those things? I think from there we can help people elicit their values, because sometimes people don't even understand what values are and how and what these values are to them, and how it will help them to even find meaning even while they are struggling, right? And again, you said something on motivation. Yes, you said something on motivation, trying to find their own motivation. And I think that's one good thing about purpose. Understanding why, because when you understand your why, it's even a motivation on itself. It's okay, you know what, I won't quit, I won't give up now, I would keep on and give it another trial. But thank you ladies. I think we're having a sweet conversation here. And conversations around purpose, I think it's something it's foundational to everything that we'll be doing, either making money, parenting, and whatsoever thing that we'll be living our lives on. Okay, so Chisa, from an HR perspective, how does purpose influence employee performance and engagement in the workplace?
Okay, there's a saying that goes, it says, when the purpose of a thing is not known,
abuse is inevitable.
Is inevitable. So you would add, from my experience, I've discovered that the high flyers are people that know what they want from the get-go. When you bring a greenhorn into the workplace and he or she has purpose, you see that he or she has goals that automatically aligns with the company's goal. So it is not always hard for you to discover such people, because they are resilient, they are great thinkers, they are critical thinkers, they speak well, they are people that are teachable. So because they have a goal and they are curious, they want to get to the pinnacle of their career, you see that they get to grow in their career. They are never docile. They are quick to equip themselves. They are quick to ensure that those things that they need to get to the next level, they get them. So from the HR perspective, people that know their purpose, you cannot find them being on the bottom in their career. They get to grow because they understand that their why is for them to grow and get all that they want from life. So they would align themselves to the goal of the organization, because if a company has a goal, we have core values. What are the core values? They are I'll say they are universal core values. So if you can align yourself to those core values of the company, there's no how you'll be stuck in your career.
I totally agree. So because when you have goals that are almost in line, you know, with an organization, you say, okay, they are going my direction,
Right?
so I can jump in the bus.
Yes.
I can jump in the bus.
Right.
They are going in my direction, and when time is up, I could maybe, you know, alight. There are times like that.
It's okay too,
because it's a continuation of purpose.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Interesting. That's powerful, because when people feel their work matters, they show up differently.
Right.
Absolutely. I will go on a commercial break, and we come back, then I would share your questions.
Do you feel terrified when speaking before a group? Are you stressed when asked to present? Do you bore people when speaking? Are you stuck with reading word for word? How do you give a speech with polish? Learn how at the School of Eloquence,
the home of public speaking. Attend our practical coaching in public speaking. Call 0802 303 2066 or log on to schoolofeloquence.org.
School of Eloquence, teaching the world to speak.
Isioma, can you share any practical exercises, tools, or reflective habits that help women uncover or refine their why?
Absolutely. I think she shared earlier that, you know, you could do a SWOT analysis, looking at your different strengths, weaknesses, and what the opportunities and threats are to the pathway that you've chosen. But I think a great place to start is just reflective exercises. And it could be as simple as taking a time once a month to think through what it is that you are interested in doing, what in the last month has brought joy to your life, what has been the most interesting thing you've done, what opportunities could you see developing from the activities you are taking in your work. And just having those very simple reflective exercise, like take time aside to do this, like properly, on a weekend maybe, and that will instantly start attuning you to the things that you are more purpose-filled in your career. Another, I think, interesting exercise, so there's something that we got from Jeff Bezos called the regret minimization framework. And the idea is you think about your career, you're 80 years old, and you're looking back on your life. What are the things that you would regret not doing? And that is it's a very powerful exercise, because you really think about it. A lot of times the things that we regret not doing are the things we're often obsessed with now. And then we think about, okay, so if I'm spending all my life taking this particular activity, would I regret it when I'm 80 that I haven't been doing this or I haven't been doing something else? And that really helps us refocus where our attention is, where we're putting our energy. And I think that's a great place to kind of jump off and start looking at opportunities that are available to us.
Awesome. We can't say it enough. Self-reflexive practices should actually become, you know, habits, like
Indeed.
weekly habits that we should have. Right? Like when we go to church or go to mosque or whatever on Sundays or Fridays, we should also take time out. Maybe on Saturday, some people go to parties, on every Saturday. So maybe we should take out a Friday or a Thursday or a Monday to have such reflective practices. Thank you so much. Purpose isn't static. It evolves as we grow and move through seasons of life. How do you personally stay anchored in your purpose, especially when life gets overwhelming or uncertain?
Okay, I'd say that purpose is not a race, right? So it's okay for you to pause some time. I'll give myself as a case in point. In 2022, I lost my mom to cancer, and I'd say that it was a time that I paused. Life just paused. And that's why I knew that the people that you draw strength from matter in what you do. You might not know. My mommy was one of my driving force, but I realized that when she died, things that I had planned to do, I had the business I was running, I was doing a lot of savings, I was doing a lot of training for people, but I realized that I just couldn't. But guess what? I had people around me. The Bible says that iron sharpeneth iron.
Yeah.
So I struggled, but and that's where purpose comes in again. And that's why I said it's not a race. Once you know that you are going somewhere, it's okay for you to pause. It's okay for you to have some form of setback because of some things you cannot control. But because I knew where I was going to, I had to pick up myself. I had to tell myself that I have where you're going, and that's where that purpose comes in. There's that you cannot overemphasize the place of purpose in life. I have a job, I have a 9 to 5, but that's not my purpose, that's not my calling. So I had to go back to the drawing board. So I'd say that I rediscovered my purpose again in the place of pain. So I saw myself counseling people that had gone through that path. So I saw myself as a counselor for pain, away from my CV, my coaching, and my HR coaching. So I'd say that it's not a race at the end of the day. Just pick up yourself back and ensure that you are on track.
I'd like to hear from you. That's very important. I mean, purpose is not a race. It's okay for you to take a pause. Well said. Thank you, Chisa.
Absolutely. I agree. I would also add that remember that you have a community. Many of us, when we determine what our purpose is or we're on the path to do so, we kind of keep it within ourselves. We're like this little secrets that we have with ourselves. But our community is such a fabulous way to reinforce what it is we're doing, to support us, especially when times aren't going so well. So when, let's say, you encounter a challenge or a setback in the pursuit of this purpose, if you've had friends around you who you've shared this purpose with, they're the ones who provide encouragement. They're the ones who remind you, you said you wanted to do this and you were very passionate about doing this. And that really helps bring you back and reinforce everything that you believe in. And so I think it's very, very important to carry your community along on your journey for both good times and bad. They are very, very critical to supporting you through all the ups and downs that are sure to come along the way.
I want to be a little bit personal here, and it's like, this is a show to inspire other women, but it's also good for other women to know that we're also not perfect. We're all on a journey.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
last year I felt I was on a part of purpose. I was excited and all of that, but in between something, that thing took off, and I was at a place where my life where I felt this way, it was really an uncertain time for me, and I'm like, God, where exactly are you leading me? I thought this thing was in line with everything, and I thought it was time and all of that, but what I didn't realize, and honestly I really never thought of it in that way until Chisa said it now, that purpose is not a race. It's okay for you to pause a little. So sometimes I don't know why those challenges, those uncertainties in life, they come to just make you pause. And you talked about community, and thanks again to a very strong community. Because my husband was there. Yeah, because our spouses, are part of this community that we talked about too, or maybe our children and friends, So, he was there to really give that support, the guidance, the encouragement, everything and it was like, Atinuke, come on, you're not doing badly, it's okay, and all of those kind of things. I'm able to relate, is the story, is the story that I've said that, at the point, it was a moment for me to take a pause, right? And he was also there as a community too, and some friends that knew what I was going through that time, to be there to serve as support, to encourage. And then they also made me to say, okay, Atinuke, this time perhaps you could be looking into learning, go to invest your time, your resources into learning something that you think that matters to you. Use that to buy some time until you get your ginger back. Amazing. Okay, what advice would you give to young professionals or fresh graduates who feel unsure about their career direction or identity? It's open to us.
I'll start. I would say that it's, first of all, don't worry too much. I think a lot of it, especially now since we have a lot more visibility around purpose and the idea of purpose, people get worried when, they're 21 and they still don't know what they want to do with their lives. I think it's the perfect time to experiment, to try new things. I always say that curiosity is one of the most powerful skill sets you can have, especially as an adult. As children, most of us have it naturally, but as an adult, it's like many of us forget how to be curious. So you have to actually make an effort to be curious, especially as an adult. If there's something new that you are curious about, explore it. Especially in your early 20s, that's a perfect time to experiment with so many things, because if you think about this particular career path, it's like, I don't know if I'll be great at it, but I think I would find it interesting, try it out. If there's a new way to do something, a new technology evolving, right now AI is all the rage, at the very least, experiment with ChatGPT. You don't have to become a coder. A lot of things that we have avenues to, and are essentially very low risk ways to try out new things. We have to do that. We have to do that more and more, because that opens us up to opportunities. And the more you find new opportunities, the more aligned you will find things that are with your purpose. And you're like, oh, I really enjoy doing this. I get value from it. That means that you're on the right path. If you encounter something there, like, nope, this does not align with my values, I don't like it, it's okay. On to the next. And so no matter how old you are, you can develop that spirit of curiosity, and it will open up new pathways for you.
We heard that. Curiosity. Yeah, and I like to sometimes joke, well, curiosity will not kill anyone, provided we're not cats. It's only cats. Thank you.
So I'd say for the young people, they should remain focused. Like she rightly said, purpose unfolds through curiosity, consistency, and courage. Keep growing, keep learning, keep unlearning, keep relearning, and have the right attitude. Attitude is 100. You must be seen as somebody that is teachable. Don't despise days of little beginning. Always show up, even when you don't feel like it. So, I think with everything we have said, it is...
and let me just also add, I mean, and I think it's something that I think is kind of seeping away, because even our young people, young professionals, probably because of needs, all they think about is money, money, money. So I just want to add also to the conversation that young people too should also try to volunteer. In volunteering, they explore, they try some things, they learn, they unlearn, they find self, they discover. You mentioned low risk. I think with that.
And volunteering might just be the seed of their calling.
Finding themselves. Yeah. They never knew that, I never knew I could enjoy doing this. They would just find self and other things that they never knew they had
inside of them.
And finally, a personal reflection to close things out. If you could go back and speak to the younger you, just starting out, what would you say about finding and following your purpose?
I would definitely tell my younger self not to be so hard on herself. I think that I've had a very interesting career so far, and I've gone from engineering to leadership development. I've done media production along the way. So I've seen a lot of things, and I could not have told my 18-year-old self all these stories. So I think I would just advise her to be open to opportunities and to really enjoy each experience that she's having along the way, because she learns from every single thing. And that's the same advice I would give anyone early in their career. Be open to opportunities and look at every single experience you have as a learning opportunity, because trust me, all those little things add up together to give you a very unique career, a very unique experience of life.
Absolutely. Chisa.
What I'll say to my younger self is to test waters. So I was just keen on just doing HR. So maybe I should have done other things. I should have learned other crafts. And I'm sure that it would have helped me now, but no regrets in everything.
Okay, so as young people, they have quite a number of ideas. So I would just probably also add that, follow your heart. The things you think you want to do, the things you think you can do, just do it. Explore. Then purpose is a journey. Anytime, they say when you wake up is your morning.
Yes.
So well said.
Hi everyone, my name is Chisa Oladebo Isioma, representing Casafina Development, a real estate firm in Lagos, and I'm giving a shout out to Achievement Channel. Thank you.
My name is Bodia Bifari. Please keep watching the Achievement Channel. tune in, support them, like, subscribe. Yes, Achievement Channel. Thank you.
My name is Mrs. Imelda Ahunosuji. You can call me Madam Modesty. Please keep watching Achievement Channel.
Wow, what an inspiring and insightful conversation. To every woman watching, your purpose is not a luxury, it's your anchor. When you understand your why, every step you take becomes more meaningful, more impactful, and more joyful. To Chisa Oladebo and Isioma Utomi, thank you for sharing your journeys, your wisdom, and your light. You've reminded us that discovering purpose isn't about perfection, it's about alignment, growth, and grace. And to you, our viewer, thank you for joining us today on Inspire Her. Let's continue this important conversation. Follow Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for more inspiring content and updates. Use the hashtag #WeSeePossibilities and share your thoughts with us. Stay inspired, stay focused, and keep seeing possibilities on the Achievement Channel.